Today, I'm going to be talking about the top 7 herbs for menopause. Hi, I'm Dr. Mona Morstein. I've been a naturopathic physician for 36 years. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and click the button below. Now, menopause is a really very common female transitional period. Right now, we have about 1,300,000 women each year entering menopause, and really 90% of them for at least a few years are going to experience the symptoms of menopause, such as hot flashes and night sweats and mood changes and sleep disorders. Now, I've talked in a previous talk on using bioidentical hormones in the menopausal period. So today I'm just going to focus on botanicals. Now, botanicals can be taken as a tincture. A tincture is when we take the dry herb, macerate it for weeks in a really high alcohol product, and then strain it out, and all the living active essences of the herb is in the tincture. But many people also like to use it as capsules or teas. Now, in some capsules, some of the herbs are sometimes standardized to a certain percentage of what they consider an active part of that herb. That's okay in the capsule, but if you just get the herb itself without that extract, that's also fine to use for sure. Now, let's go and dive into the herbs. So the first one is black cohosh. This formal name is either Actea or Simicifuga racemosa. This is part of the buttercup family, and it's actually native to the United States. And we use this both in premenopause and postmenopause women, but it is very effective in studies against the vasomotor symptoms. That's the night sweats and the hot flashes. Now, the root is the most effective part of the plant, and it should be dosed at least 160 milligrams a day, but going higher, including much higher, is also perfectly safe. And what's really awesome about black cohosh is that it does not work through increasing estrogen levels. So this herb in particular is very safe to use with women who have had an estrogen positive cancer, say breast cancer or uterine cancer. So this is a great herb, safe, good one to start with. Another one is called Quai, also known as Angelica sinensis. And this is a very big postmenopausal herb. Also, we use the roots and rhizome. This is an old herb. It's native to China, and it's been used for over 1,000 years. Now, Quai does contain phytoestrogens, so it shouldn't be taken by women who have had estrogen-positive cancers. We use it in pre- and postmenopausal women, and definitely it can help in reducing the hot flashes, the night sweats. And we get that under control. Sleep is better, so that tends to be also better. Now, generally in capsules, 200 milligrams a day or more is recommended. When we're using these urban tinctures, we would generally use like 2 dropperfuls 3 times a day in a little water. And that's for all the herbs. Now, another herb, the third one, is wild yam, also known as Dioscorea villosa. One of the active ingredients in this herb is diasgenine, which can influence estrogen and DHEA formation in humans. So again, good for pre, but also for sure postmenopausal women. And we also use the roots. An interesting thing about wild yam is that this can be used in a medical laboratory to take the diasgenine and turn it into estrogens used in compounding formulas. Treatment doses of this herb started around also 200 milligrams a day, but there are products where you can take 1,500 milligrams in a couple of high-dose capsules. Very safe to do this. Overall, innately a safe herb. Would not want to use it in estrogen-based cancer women, but overall, otherwise, very good to use. Another one is called Siberian Rhubarb or rheum. I may not pronounce this right, but Rapaticum. This is generally almost always extracted. It is for this Rapaticum extract. And the daily dose, 1 pill 4 milligrams a day. This has been used in Germany for 20 years, specifically for menopausal disorders. And again, it's the root. Now, the studies with this show at 4 milligrams a day, it reduced menopausal symptoms after 12 weeks. So yeah, a woman might need to take it for 3 months, but at that point, the studies do say it's pretty effective. It's safe. It reduces the frequency and intensity of night sweats and hot flashes. There's no adverse effects. It's also been shown to help with some anxiety symptoms in postmenopausal women. And so this one does seem to affect estrogen activity. It lands on an estrogen receptor to stimulate better balance of that in the body. I don't know if you should use this one with a postmenopausal estrogen positive woman, but I would innately say not probably a good idea. In that regard, just stay with the black cohosh. Now, the sixth herb is red clover, which is also known as Trifolicum pratense. This is, unlike all the other herbs, which are roots, this is the flower blossoms. This is native to Europe, Asia, and Africa, but it was brought to the United States many years ago, like in the 1600s. Now, red clover is very high in these isoflavones, which help reduce menopause symptoms. The isoflavones like aglycone, genistein, diadzine. These are botanical phytoestrogens that are about 1/1000th as strong as human estrogen. Now, in a big meta-analysis, which means they looked at many studies related to this herb, for treating postmenopausal symptoms, 8 out of the 12 studies showed some decent improvement in reduction of hot flashes. And in 4 of those studies, the reduction was actually very significant. So the dose of red clover, at least 80 milligrams a day. Again, some products take it up to 1,200 milligrams a day. So that seems to be safe. And it can be a very good, helpful product for women postmenopausally. That was the 5th herb. So, sorry, not the 6th. That was the 5th herb. I apologize. The 6th herb is dandelion root. Now, dandelion is a liver herb, as is other herbs we can use. We can use burdock. We can use milk thistle, Saliba marianum. But the idea is that the ovaries produce estrogen, but the metabolism and the secretion, like an overall balance of estrogen in the body, does relate a lot on the liver. So it's very common for herbalists to always include a liver type herb when producing a tincture formula for a postmenopausal woman. Or if you're buying a good supplement, then, tinctures, we're going to mix several herbs together. Supplement products generally have several herbs together. And we would look that maybe they also should contain a liver herb. So I would just say taking dandelion or milk thistle, a couple 100 milligrams a day, drinking teas that have it. These are good ways to help the liver support. The last herb is licorice root, also known as Glycyrrhiza glabra. This is a very important and popular herb for many different conditions. It's really considered harmless and inexpensive. The main aspect of licorice has many different anti-inflammatory aspects to it. One of them is called glycerinic acid. Now, glycerinic acid, if taken in a good dose for a long period in susceptible people, may raise the blood pressure. And it does that by essentially affecting the kidneys and affecting aldosterone so that the body retains more sodium, secretes through the pee more potassium. And over time, in some people, that can raise the blood pressure. So that's something that we'd want to be monitoring, just using licorice root as a therapeutic agent. Now, of course, there are products that take that out. They're called deglycerinated licorice, D So they take that part out specifically so that there can never be any effect with blood pressure in that licorice product. But if we really do have some real inflammation or some real hormones to balance, glycerinic acid is really a powerful tool to have added into the licorice that it naturally contains. Now, licorice, in one study, they looked at 90 women and they were given licorice or a placebo. And those given the licorice, and this was at around 330 milligrams a day, also showed very significant reductions in frequency and intensity of the hot flashes of the night sweats. So you can drink it as a tea, take it in capsules. Only black licorice contains the active therapeutic part of licorice. That's all of them for today. There are many other herbs that we use in postmenopausal women, but this is a good start to get started with and will be a positive effect for the vast majority of women who try one or multiple of them together. I'm Dr. Mona Morstein. Thanks for listening. If you like this, please click like below. And again, subscribe if you'd like. If you'd like to schedule a patient with me, my info is in the biography below. Take care.